Twice a month, I get up a little bit earlier on a Thursday morning and I walk to work, get up around 5, and in the winter it's still dark, and this time of year it's a little bit lighter, still a bit gray. When I arrive to the restaurant, I'm the only one here. The kitchen's quiet, and I leave it that way. I don't turn the hood on, I don't turn any music on, and I just get started because it's this morning meditation for me in making the croissant dough. And I gather my ingredients, I warm up the milk, I dissolve the yeast in it, kind of let that rest. That takes an hour. Once the yeast wakes up a bit, it's absorbed some of the milk, then it needs to be fed. And I feed it some honey and put in a bit of sea salt. And right about then, my stomach's awake enough and I make myself some breakfast. And by the time I come back from breakfast and maybe finish another little project, the yeast has grown and has ingested all this honey and is bubbling, and it's ready to add the flour. I love the fact that none of this can be rushed. It has to be take its time and be what it is and evolve in its own time. And it's all affected by the temperature of the ingredients, the temperature of the room, temperature of the utensils that I use. It's very, very keyed into temperature and very sensitive to that. So in the winter it takes longer. In the summer I've got to rush a little bit more. And it's very contemplative because it is so plodding, and there's patience that's needed between each step. I've tried to rush it when I didn't allow myself enough time, and the dough doesn't like it. It ends up tough. It ends up not proofing and puffing up beautifully and baking these gorgeous buns. I've learned to listen to it and listen to what it needs, and so it's not about me and my ego. It's being connected with what is a living thing. And I take a block of butter out of the refrigerator that I've already formed into a slab, just the right size, and I roll the dough out and lay it on the dough and fold it up like laundry. So it's like a little bundle. And that's the beginning of what are going to be these wonderful 324 layers. We start with dough, butter dough. And if I have done the whole process right from this point and then onward through the rolling out of the dough and folding it and rolling it and folding it and letting it rest appropriately in between, if I pay attention to what it needs and I feel the nuance of it and I've done it all correctly, when I go to shape the caracolillos, these buns, I can see what the dough looks like. I've rolled them up and cut them, and I see the cross sections like rings of a tree, and they're very distinct. And like rings of a tree, you can see if it's been a heavy rain or a light rain, and I want these to all be even. I don't want them to show a variance of season. And once they proof and they rise, I can tell then also, it's telling me, it's confirming that I've done it right, because it rises more and it opens up more. And once they're baked, even more so, the layers become more pronounced. And finally, when I see people eat them, as I look out through the open kitchen, I can tell by the expression on their face, I can tell how they're enjoying them. From the first bite, they're enjoying it. I can see the expression on their face and in their eyes that this is something special to them, because it's all about that moment of satisfaction.